Welcome to Reflect with Ed Fassio. Get ready to experience one of the world's first 100% digitally generated podcasts, where we take a step back, dive deep, and strive to learn new things. Join us as we unpack thought-provoking ideas, personal reflections, and inspiring stories to help you stay in the know. Reflect is brought to you by the minds at ByteBrain and powered by emerging technologies from Google, HeyGen, OpenAI, and 11 Labs. Thanks for tuning in. Now, relax and prepare to reflect.
Welcome to Reflect, one of the world's first 100% AI-generated podcasts.
It's crazy, right? This total onslaught of digital change. I mean, are you keeping up? I'm barely keeping up. It feels like drinking from a fire hose sometimes, doesn't it?
It does.
So that's why we're doing this deep dive, okay? Think of this as like your cheat sheet to understanding this huge collision that's happening between AI and digital engineering services.
Yeah, and forget about doom scrolling. You know what I mean? We've sifted through all the noise and hype to bring you what actually matters.
Exactly.
So today we're going to laser focus on why this fusion of AI and DS, digital engineering services, it's not just like the next fad or whatever.
Yeah.
It's crucial for any business out there that wants to not just, get by, but really excel in this crazy modern world.
Right.
We've got a lot to cover today. The broad overview, some specific AI applications that are really changing the game in engineering, and we'll even touch on how some leading companies are actually, making all of this happen. Now, when we say digital engineering services, you might be thinking, oh, they're just talking about taking old paper processes and making them digital, but it's so much bigger than that.
Oh yeah, way bigger.
It's like a total rethink of how we design, build, and deliver everything, products, services, the whole customer experience. It's a huge shift in the engine driving this whole thing. AI, artificial intelligence, and it's not just about doing things faster. It's about changing the entire game plan.
Totally. Businesses are moving from just reacting to whatever gets thrown their way to actually being able to predict what's coming next.
It's like having a crystal ball.
Exactly. And one thing that really struck me is how urgent all of this is. One of our sources uses some pretty strong language talking about breakneck innovation and ceaseless digital disruption.
That's intense.
It is. And for companies, especially big ones, adapting and evolving isn't just about, beating the competition anymore. It's about survival.
Wow. They actually use the word existential in one of the articles.
Yeah, it's pretty serious stuff. This isn't just like a little side project anymore. This is core to how businesses need to function.
Okay, so this isn't something that's happening in a vacuum somewhere. This is the main event now, right?
Right.
This whole AI-driven DES thing has exploded. It's gone from this experimental niche to the absolute backbone of how modern businesses are changing and adapting.
Absolutely.
So I think the big question for our listeners is, what exactly are AI-driven digital engineering services?
Yeah.
I mean, what does that look like in the real world?
Right, that's the key question. So we dug into ISG's definition, which is really interesting. They define it as this deep integration of intelligent technologies, and they're not just talking about AI. They specifically mention things like AR and VR, augmented reality and virtual reality for things like remote diagnostics. And then there's digital twins, which are like these virtual test beds for trying out new things.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, and of course 5G, which enables that super fast data flow, all of that woven directly into the entire life cycle of how products and platforms are developed.
Okay, so they're talking about integrating all of this tech into every single stage of the process. So what does that mean for businesses? What are the real tangible benefits?
Well, the really powerful thing here is that it creates this constant feedback loop. Design, data, capture, analysis, and then improvement. It's like a cycle that just keeps going.
So AI isn't just plugged in at one point, it's a part of everything.
Exactly. And this leads to some really amazing benefits.
Okay, so give us the rundown. What are we talking about?
Well, first of all, real-time feedback loops. Imagine getting insights into how a product's performing out in the real world right away, not weeks or months later.
Instant feedback. That's huge.
It is. And then there's predictive maintenance using AI to actually forecast potential problems before they even happen.
Wait, so it can tell you when something's about to break down.
Yeah, things like analyzing vibration patterns in machinery so you can fix it before it causes a major shutdown. It could save companies a ton of money.
That's wild.
And then we're also talking about things like autonomous operations, where systems can basically run and adjust themselves without needing someone to constantly monitor them.
That's pretty sci-fi.
I know. And one of the most exciting things is the potential for hyper-personalized customer experiences. Basically, AI can analyze tons of data to understand individual needs and then tailor products and services specifically to those needs.
So it's like having a custom-made experience for every single customer.
Exactly.
So we're talking about a complete shift from just reacting to problems to being able to see them coming and preventing them in the first place. It's like having a superpower.
Right.
Okay, so we've got a good handle on what AI-driven DES is and why it's so important. Now let's get into some specific examples of how this is actually playing out in the real world. I mean, how is AI changing the engineering landscape?
Right. One of our sources really dives into this concept called generative design. It's where AI tools can explore all these different design options for an engineering problem. I mean, almost an infinite number of possibilities.
Wow, infinite possibilities. I like the sound of that.
And they can optimize for all sorts of factors, like what materials to use, how to make things super strong and resilient, and even how to keep costs down.
That's incredible. So AI is like this superpowered design assistant helping engineers come up with solutions they might never have thought of on their own.
Exactly. One of the articles calls it data-augmented creativity, which I think is a really cool way to put it.
I like that data-augmented creativity. That's going in my notes. So what other examples are out there?
Well, the article also talks about AI-enabled digital twins, which are being used more and more in manufacturing and the automotive industry. It's like having a virtual copy of a physical asset. Like imagine a digital version of a car or a factory.
Okay, I can kind of picture it.
And it's not just a static model, it's dynamic. It's constantly updating based on data from the real-world version. So engineers can use it to run simulations and see how things will perform under different conditions. They can find problems like bottlenecks in a production line or stress points in a car design before they even happen in the real world.
It's like being able to test things 1,000 times over without actually having to build anything. That's pretty powerful.
It is. It's like a crystal ball for engineers. And it can save companies a lot of time and money.
So it's not just about building cool tech, it's about real business value.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've seen how this is impacting physical products, but the article also mentions financial services. What's happening there?
Right. So in financial services, AI is being used to streamline really complex processes. Like, think about loan applications or fraud detection. AI can automate those things with incredible speed and accuracy.
So it's all about making things faster and more efficient.
Yeah. But it's also about creating totally new products and services.
Right.
By analyzing massive amounts of data, AI can uncover customer needs that no one even knew existed, and then companies can develop new offerings to meet those needs. It's pretty amazing.
So it's not just about improving what already exists, it's about completely reinventing things.
Yep.
Okay, so we've talked about the technology and the applications. But one thing the PDF really emphasizes is the importance of choosing the right partner for this whole journey. It says that going down this AI-driven digital engineering path isn't as simple as just buying some new software. You need the right expertise to make it work. So why is finding the right partner so crucial?
Well, when you're dealing with something as complex as AI, you can't just hire any tech company. You need someone who really understands your industry, your specific challenges, and what you're trying to achieve as a business. They need to have the technical skills, but they also need to be innovative and able to adapt quickly, because the technology itself is constantly evolving.
So it's like finding a strategic ally, not just a vendor.
Exactly. You need someone who can help you transform your business, not just implement some technology.
The article actually highlights firms like Aditi Consulting as examples of the kind of partners that companies should be looking for. They emphasize their consultative, solution-centric approach, which basically means they really focus on understanding your needs and finding the right solutions.
Right. It's not about pushing products. It's about finding the best fit for your business.
So it's about finding someone who can be a trusted guide through this whole process, someone who's going to be there for you every step of the way.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the tech, the applications, the partners, but let's step back for a second and think about the bigger picture. What's the real impact of all this? It sounds pretty technical, but what does it actually mean for people?
That's a really important question. At the end of the day, all of this AI-driven DES isn't just about building smarter machines. It's about empowering people. It's about giving them the tools and insights they need to do their jobs better and make smarter decisions.
So engineers can be more creative. Analysts can get better insights. Designers can make more personalized experiences. And business leaders can make more informed decisions.
Exactly. And in a world that's changing so quickly, that kind of empowerment is more important than ever.
It's not a luxury. It's essential for businesses to survive and thrive.
Right. And embracing AI-driven DES isn't just a one-time project. It needs to become a core part of how businesses operate.
It's about adapting and evolving constantly.
Exactly. And finding the right partners to guide you on that journey is absolutely crucial.
Couldn't agree more. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. It's clear that this fusion of AI and digital engineering services is a game changer. It's impacting businesses in profound ways, and it's only going to become more important in the future. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the big takeaway is that businesses need to embrace this change. They need to find the right partners, and they need to start thinking about how they can leverage these technologies to create real value.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's not just about the technology, it's about what you do with it.
Exactly.
It's about empowering people and creating a better future.
Thanks for listening to the Reflect Podcast, where we're telling the future. Are you in it? Visit reflectpodcast.com and share your story.
In the cyber ocean of online voices and recycled content, something different has arrived. Reflect isn't just another podcast, it's the future of storytelling, powered entirely by AI. From curating data to assembling thought-provoking ideas, we've redefined how journeys are told. Reflect is a podcast that thinks, learns, and evolves with each episode. Every tale, every insight, crafted by the most advanced AI technologies. A podcast that disrupts the industry, breaking free from traditional formats, taking you on an entirely new experience. So tune in now and reflect. We're telling the future.